Hello again, my next review is for Seth Mitchell against Jonathan Banks in one of probably the upsets of the year. Like, it's not on a major scale that some people have predicted it, but there's been a lot of hype about Seth Mitchell over the last year or so. He's the next US heavyweight hope. And here he comes against Jonathan Banks, a crafty veteran, in an emotional victory for him, having taken over as head trainer of Vladimir Klitschko and having lost his own trainer in Manny Stewart not too long back. So, he's took Vladimir Klitschko to defend his world title, and now he's pulled one of the shocks of the year in a victory over the highly touted, the highly thought of Seth Mitchell in a thrilling 2-round heavyweight battle. I said after, this is what heavyweights are about. Neither fighter should hang their head in shame. Well, Seth Mitchell shouldn't hang his head in shame. Obviously Banks won't, he'll be over the moon with that fight, because this is what fighting is all about. We remember Joe Frazier, George Foreman. I'm not comparing it on that kind of level, these fighters, but remember that George Foreman knocking him down, Frazier down 6 times in a few rounds. Here, 3 knockdowns all in the second round by Banks, but the way Mitchell kept getting up, much like Frazier did against the powerful Foreman, he couldn't take his shots, but he kept getting back up until he was finally saved by the ref. Here, finally saved by the ref was Mitchell. But it just reminded of the great fights, the great heavyweight contests that we miss nowadays, and this was just one of them. This was a top level fight. 2 fighters who had a lot to lose, had lots to gain from the win. With a win, an impressive win for either of them, was to push them closer to a world title. And Jonathan Banks caught him with a beautiful shot, followed it up brilliantly. Seth Mitchell tried all he could to hold, but he was just holding him around the waist, kept falling off. There was just so long left in the round, like it felt like a long round watching it. So I can only imagine how long it was for Seth Mitchell. It must have lasted years. Being in there just must have never ended for him, and in the end he didn't get to the end, unfortunately. I'm sure that would he recover in the next round? I don't think so. He was caught with such great shots. That was it. But he was great championing defeat. Accepting the defeat, and he'll be back. And I'd love him to be back. A rematch with Banks. Nobody would say no to that. It was, rematch surely would brew into a great fight again. But that's what you call great heavyweight boxing, and that's what we saw last night. Banks, it's obviously understandably if he doesn't really want to fight Vladimir Klitschko, having trained him, but if the offer comes around for him to get that fight, he becomes a mandatory challenger, I'm sure he'll give it a go. I don't think he'd win. I don't think there's anybody heavyweight out there right now that would beat Vladimir Klitschko. But he deserves a shot because he's put up a great performance there. Shocked against all odds, did that. Seth Mitchell just got to get back to the drawing board. Maybe it was a step too soon for him. Get back to the basics. Get back to fighting guys where he can build. There's plenty of fighters out there that are less dangerous than Jonathan Banks. Ones that can't punch that well, that will give him a good test though. Who are highly ranked, highly rated. Will get him a lot of recognition. Will get him. Sorry, not more recognition, but get him a higher status in the heavyweight division. But either way, it was a great fight, and it was really a great advertisement for heavyweight boxing in the US, to show that they can, even though they're not as quality as they were, they're not dominating the world, the US, in the heavyweights like they once was, but they can still put on great fights. And for everybody who watched it, they must have enjoyed it. 2 rounds of exciting action like that is all you need, really. So thank you again for listening, and please leave your comments at the bottom, and tune in for my if you want to have a look, soon enough I'll be having check on my channel for my reviews of Yusuf Mack, Carl Froch, and the main event of this card between Adrian Broner and Antonio DeMarco. That will be up soon enough. So thank you for listening. Thank you.